it's kind of reactable. It's kind of slow.
Yeah.
I think you can deal with it.
Post-patch is fine, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty much post-patch. But speaking of, we are going to be seeing the best pilot of this character in Europe, bringing her to the table against Cone right now. Neylax, Cone, two super strong players. I am hyped for this set.
And immediately Cone already getting a good parry onto the crystal and getting a pretty nice opening, honestly, from it. Like, Cone right now is doing what Cone does best, which is just spacing around the Olympia. And, you know, that's the thing when you're Clairen, you're going to have that range to actually outrange the Olympia at most times. So you gotta be careful about Neylax always going in for, you know, the craziest follow-ups known to man. Or to rat in that case.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the majority of Olympia's said, at least very early on with this character, was, man, these matches where I'm outranged by like your force burn, your Lectrodons, and your Clarens is really tough. Neutral, like it's the one time where neutral really isn't given, but that means they have better neutral than me, and then they also blow me the hell up because I'm Olympia and I'm mega fast for it. So it can be really rough, especially with Clairen with her sort of tried and true up tilt down air loops and such. And so yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world right now for these players to navigate, but Neylax is doing a good job of it. He really believes in this character at the moment, and clearly has reason to as he takes that first stop in meticulous fashion.
Yeah, again, the thing is, having that crystal can be really annoying as well on a character with some more linear recovery options like Clairen. So just having it and exploding it at the right time is just such a threat. However, good catch here from Cone in order to take the first stock of Neylax. Not too late. And again, good awareness as well on the throws of the crystal for the most part. Just always being ready every time that Neylax is trying to throw it out at the same level as Cone.
Yeah, especially with these characters that, like you appropriately said, outrange Olympia, the name of the game is playing around with the crystal. That's her main option to sort of open you up and catch you off guard, but Cone is very clearly recognizant of that fact, and is playing around it super well right now, so it's forcing out to scrap, and he's managing, but he's taking a lot of percent of it in the meantime, and just like, the moment you get to these scraps at the corner, that nair or down air is so lethal, so lethal, so easy for Clairen, who just has that confirmed down on lock at this point, and is going to give him a little bit of stock lead now.
Yeah, and as we go, like obviously Neylax is going to try to go for the up B, but Cone just barely able to DI it. And then yeah, the ledge hog, the immediate ledge hog. Again, it's pretty easy to ledge hog a Clairen that's gone a little bit too low, so not too surprised to see Neylax is really abusing that option. But Cone right now is putting down a clinic, like slice, slice, and slice again. We are going to receive maybe some roasted rat for dinner tonight.
People already believe that Clairen is a character that has like one of the stronger advantage shapes within the game, just because of the way her stun interacts with a lot of characters. Olympia then is probably, along with Frag, one of the best combat characters in the game. Like, you just get everything on her. So that combination of factors is particularly difficult to navigate for some Olympians. As a result, Cone is going to find a confirm with the Nair Tipper hitbox killing at 112. I don't think that's... No, never mind. I think that was very well played by Cone.
Yeah, I mean, again, Cone spacing is always pretty immaculate. That's the thing you gotta remember. And again, against Olympia, who's kinda lacking in the range department, if Cone can really abuse the fact that just he's going to always outrange, like he is always going to outrange Neylax in that regard. Like, yeah, that's gonna work out pretty well for him.
We're going to go over to Harbour, a stage which we saw Neylax utilize incredibly well against Focus Miss earlier, but Cone is already putting on pressure right now, catching in jump-ins a lot with up tilt, and I think Neylax is maybe just being a bit too rushed with his disadvantage state right now and is eating a lot of percent for it. You can't jump in on Clairen, it's too risky. Claude is going to show it to you as he gets in there, then kills at 90. Nah, that one is cooked. That one we can't allow. That's crazy.
Well, clear to me at the very least that Cone is playing out of his mind today. Like, my goodness, he's just again being an absolute menace on this field. Like, what do you want to do against a Clairen who's always at the perfect distance to tipper you?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Fluidity. It's the fluidity.
Try to go in more, he's just going to wave that back.
Oh, and then we get a side B down air. Neylax managed to make it back onto the stage. He's going to look for a punish here, but Cone adeptly rolls away from Neylax, who can't continue the pressure string. Gets the fair tip of 1, and that is strong enough to kill again. Neylax has died so early on this stage. This is crazy. And Cone's not missing right now on these confirms. And it's looking really, really difficult for the French rat, who just can't survive against this menace. This is for the once, it is Tom that is destroying Jerry.
Yeah, and speaking of actually surviving, like, you can see how Cone's diet has been absolutely immaculate to avoid, like, any kind of situation where he just ends up falling into a strong or falling into an RB, like, even just fast falling onto the platforms in order to be able to shield the RB just in time. And at this point, like, it really feels like nothing can stop him. Okay, finally an RB is going to stop him. But still, at 76%, Neylax's last stock. I want to imprint that on everybody's mind. The 2-time champion of Arrival is getting 2 stocks right now.
Yeah, managed to find a fair into F2. It's a good amount of damage, but it's not enough. He really needs to be able to push it even harder, but Cone's not making it easy for him. He's doing the best Survival DI of his life right now. Takes a few dash attacks for his trouble, gets set off stage, but a good early up B is going to get relieve him of that pressure. Crystal is set up, and no conversion, just too far away. Neylax just, he's finding hits, he's playing neutral really well, but he cannot find enough. Meanwhile, Code just runs in with that down strong. We talked about it earlier, that down strong is lethal, and Code might be the best utilizer of that move in the scene right now. And he's proven it. He's proven it.
Yeah, it is impressive to see how many people Cone actually catches with this down strong. And to be fair, it really covers a good distance, therefore it's a very good ledge trap tool. Just because it's going to cover like either a close roll in or a close roll a roll out. So you know, it kind of covers the entire ledge at this point. We're going to go straight back to port as well. Like, Neylax is thinking that stage is definitely not the issue. Maybe wanting the space a little bit more in order to play around that giant sword. But that, again, that's a giant sword. What are you gonna do? It's a giant sword. Ooh, fair though. Going pretty far off for that fair.
Neylax is going to pull a lot of percent right now, and this is what I wanted to see. I talked earlier about how Neylax was rushing it last time. He's not rushing it anymore. He's taking his time. He's not dashing in every single time. He's spacing out with dash outs. He's mixing up his dance timing, and then every time Cone's wanted to come in, instead of like directly challenging her, he's waiting for Clairen to whiff. And Clairen does have a fair bit of whiff like lag in this game, and sort of doubling down on it and improving his punishes. This is what he did against Focus Miss, and it is coming to bear right now against Cone, but Cone is not one to just be taken off guard. He's answered back in a very, very strong way, but Neylax, amazing catch with the back air fair, and he takes the lead finally.
Yeah, finally, just a little bit of room to breathe for Neylax. It's still far from done though, like, at this point. We're still far from done. Either Neylax is going to be able to find the throw here. Going to try and put down, again, a lot of pressure on the ledge, and I feel like that's where Neylax would be the strongest. It's just when Cone is off stage in a disadvantageous position. Because it can kind of just be scary with the side Bs, with those fairs. And Cone kind of has to respect it at this point. But again, Clairen really linear in recovery, so gotta be careful and gotta be aware of the timing. But again, with parry into down strong, Cone taking the stock back, but already at 117.
Yeah, in this mid-stage position, Cone is actually parrying a lot there because either it's a button from Olympia, I think, or it's Olympia's gem. So both are really good to parry. So it's kind of like, it's kind of option selecting that, and it's working out pretty well for him. He did get a little overzealous there, and he did eat a lot for it. A big fair coming out and giving Neylax a whole stock lead advantage, and this is a different player from the last game, and I really do think he just slowed it down. Even mentally, he slowed it down just to sort of take a breath and re-examine how he's going to play it, and look at this patience now, even in the corner, not quite panicking, just sort of taking his time, playing out these situations where he knows he has the frame advantage, and he's doing a lot with it. Down air comes out, 66%. Clairen makes it back on stage, but you can't escape that pressure. You can't just swing out of shield. If Olympia hits your shield, She is the winner in that situation, and Neylax is the winner right now in this game, putting on a lot of damage. Cone techs the Crystal Explosion, but he's got no jump off stage.
Yeah, thankfully he had just enough to actually get back onto the ledge, but then Neylax was the death cover with Robbie, so it really doesn't matter, and Neylax finally getting a game on the board.
Let's dig.
Yeah. And, like, you say finally getting a game, but did you not look kind of incredible that game? Like, that was super clean gameplay from Neylax.
Very dominant, yeah. A very dominant game.
Yeah, I know he's feeling a lot better now. We see bans for Harbor coming out, not Harbor, Air Armada coming out, and I didn't see the other one. I think it might have been Vale or perhaps Forest. I think it might be Forest, which makes sense. I think Harbor. Oh, sorry, not Harbor. I can't remember. The ice stage is like actually quite playable for Olympia because it has like a lot of interesting conversions, the same way Zerberg has. So Air Armada completely awful for this character. So yeah, he's going to be avoiding that. He's going to go as high those go. Fine stage for both characters. Clairen obviously like loves the lack of space because hitboxes cover so much area. But Olympia loves the lack of space as well because she gets in so quickly and she can get some really big conversions on this battlefield layout.
Yeah, that's the thing. That actually showed some good conversions from the players at some point. So,
oh no.
There's been a lot of trading going on that ledge, and Neylax unfortunately is going to be the one to fall eventually. But that was like a good 30 seconds of everyone just fighting for that right ledge.
Yeah, his jump got clipped unfortunately, and so it meant they had like kind of practice little timing mix-up. So all Cone had to do was get the good timing on the ledge hog and then roll. And yeah. Well played from Cone, unfortunate for Neylax, but he's going to answer straight back with a fair. Cone sent all the way off stage. One is the mixer to make it back, just a good side B, well timed. But it is still Neylax who kind of holding the cards until Cone gets a little bit of a conversion. He's trying to pressure Neylax off stage and he still continues his advantage state. Down tilt checks him, doesn't quite manage to convert off into anything though. Not going to find anything either here. Neylax wants to find the stock but can't. Cone's too evasive.
He's going to also find the back air here as well, and going to get the disadvantageous position from Neylax. Neylax desperately trying to find anything good DI on the crystal though from Cone in order to escape from there. Cone still managing like to avoid literally everything that Neylax has to offer. Finally, the ledge special is going to catch Cone. You don't get to see that one every day.
No, that's a very rare kill screen, honestly. I don't think we've seen too much of that either, but it is good for now to see that stock. He really needed it, I feel, at the moment. He's just kind of swinging. He's managed to find purpose a fair bit, so it's not too bad. But I do hope that he's kind of just taking his time. Yeah, we've seen him retreating a little bit away from that ledge. Manages to get back in with that Nair, very safe to set some jab pressure. He's looking pretty alright for him now. He's managed to even up his defense a little bit. He is at ledge. It's scary. Nair, not quite killing, so he has still a chance at living, and instead it is Cone.
Still the ledge. I think he just stole the ledge as Cone was trying to ledge hog him.
Yeah, he did. Oh, that's rough.
I mean, that's pretty good for Neylax, I will say. Finally getting the lead into this game 4. And that has to also weigh in on Cone's mental right now. Just in general. And now Neylax is kind of free to just, again, play pretty patiently. Like, we're still playing pretty patiently. We know that we can't try to go in too much on Cone and kind of have to wait for him to make the mistakes.
Yeah, back end not going to trip it there, so he doesn't quite get the kill. Now has to go back to the ledge. Neylax gets some percent off of it, but Cone is consistent on taking that crystal explosion, meaning that he actually doesn't take too much from that situation. The down air after the Nair is going to come out. He doesn't miss those, and we go down to last stock. Even after that unfortunate SD at a pretty early percent, Cone is still so in this. Oh no.
And we have Neylax though.
I won't say my words.
Yeah, you were saying that, and now like Neylax is going for like 3 uppers in a row. But Cone still getting some good tech chases as well from those throws. And right now, again, it's looking pretty even. Cone trying to go very far for that down air. Missing completely, but thankfully able to make it back without getting ledge hogged. But still, there's a lot to be done.
Oh my goodness, he found that! There was a lot to be done, and he did it! Wolf drop, what an incredible catch! He gets Cone at the edge of the crystal, and Cone, I think, even DIing it out. he still managed to get all the way there with jump, down B, cancel, double jump, fair. Amazing conversion from Neylax, who ties it all up and brings us to game 5 and a potential reverse 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very Neylax right now in terms of momentum, for sure, after Cone's SD and then the unfortunate demise off of that right side. But Cone is still swinging, literally swinging that sword as much as possible. Some down air, some down strong action. You know, the usual for Cone. Neylax is, however, not going to let down the pressure right now. Nonetheless, the moment he has an opportunity, you know that it's going to be a good 40% immediately from Neylax.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Cone at the moment, honestly, in that usually a lot of people have in situations where they're getting reverse 3-0 and then they even throw away a stock when they were winning a game. That can be the mind crusher, but clearly he's still here to play. Clearly he's not given up at all and is still fighting. Right now he's being a little bit more patient in neutral. He's taking his time a bit more because when he's been aggressively swinging, Neylax has been waiting for it. So things are working out a little bit better for him. Both of these players are really taking their time. Amazing whiff punish from Neylax. Immediate reaction with that dash back, that dash in, dash attack, but he doesn't quite get anything off of it. Meanwhile, Cone gets a killer conversion.
Unfortunately misses the tech, but he's going to be able to get the stock right back afterwards. Still, what this game has shown so far in this match in general is that Neylax really works better against Cone when he's just taking his time, you know, just waiting for Cone to make the mistake. Because eventually Cone is going to be maybe a little bit overzealous and maybe just miss fair just a little bit. Of course, we were saying that Cone's biggest. Whoa! Was he gonna get back? I was about to say, he was really down there. Like, Neylax was really down there.
If he hadn't missed that nice shot timing, it was curtains, for sure.
Yeah. Still, Neylax continuing with a lot of pressure right now. Just, again, patiently just throwing out the crystal in order to maybe catch Cone off guard with an explosion. You know, it works out for the most part. Just smaller openings, but for the most part, they're more consistent, you know. But yeah. Completely DIs out that down air, unfortunately. And now Neylax is on the last stock, potentially, of this winner's finals.
Fair comes out, there's a bit of damage, but he gets caught by that side B just about clipping the ledge, and that's tech chasing, that's damage, that's 23%, 26, grab reset. There's a lot of damage coming out from Cone right now. That's the extra credit that you really want in this situation. You just want a bit of comfort if you have to go into that last stock. But it's a big if right now. 53 coming out, and he's not stopping. He gets a parry, down air, off stage Olympia. This has been the money maker for Cone. But the Nair sends the wrong way, but the conversion continues. Down there comes out, whiffs. At the moment is all Cone, Wolfbrock.
Yeah. Pretty tense and the up tilt again. Like Cone not relenting one bit for the most part. But misses the down strong. It could be the opportunity that Neylax is looking for. Finally gets the up throw. Back here, fair. We're finally back into the game 109%. It is going to be very tough for Neylax to make it back from this. But still very doable. The back air though is not quite enough to actually make sure that this doesn't happen. But the clip on the down B. And Cone is going to be moving on to grand finals on the winner's side. Neylax falling down to losers finals.